Hi there, my name is Brian Chambers, and today I want to talk to you about a problem I've witnessed inside my communications classroom. I don't know if you guys within the tech field have witnessed a similar things. I've seen students who don't put their full effort into assignments or blame poor results on the belief that they're just simply not creative. See, I struggle with this notion because I believe that everyone is creative in their own way, and I have trouble communicating this belief to students. So I hope to improve my knowledge of creativity in order to help my students change the understanding of themselves and to help boost their creativity in my classrooms. Pretty much it boils down to one simple question: how do I improve creativity in my classroom? So I went looking in multiple directions for this research. So first I started with, is there different types of creativity? I actually came across a research article called The Cognitive Neuroscience of Creativity. The research journal identifies 4 types of creativity, and these actually interlink to work together. The creativity can be either emotionally based from the heart or cognitively, so your thoughts and your logical intelligence. And from there we can decide if the creativity is coming from spontaneity, which is something unexpected, or deliberate, meaning that there's conscious effort towards the creativity. So as you see on your screen right here, these are almost broken down the middle, so cognitive and emotional are different than spontaneous and deliberate, but they work together to determine how you think about something and how you're creative. When you line them up as if in a chart, you get the results of how people are creative. For example, cognitive deliberate is in like the case of Thomas Edison, who put great thought and detail into his work. Or cognitive spontaneous is like Newton and the apple. There was thought to that creativity, but it happened out of nowhere. On the flip side, in emotional, there's the deliberate emotional, and it is more of that aha moment where it's more emotionally charged, but it's deliberate and you're thinking about it, and you come to that realization. Or there's emotional spontaneous, which is typical for artists and musicians. They don't necessarily think about what they're doing, they just kind of do it. The next question I wanted to focus on was, how do I implement these ideas of creativity? So there was 2 articles I looked at. There was Classroom Context for Creativity and 30 Things You Can Do to Promote Creativity. These articles were researched pretty much for ideas that I can implement inside my classroom. They both had practical knowledge of where to go when you were hoping to instill creative thought in your classroom. Classroom Context for Creativity clearly stated thoughts and what to do in the classroom, but went more in depth so I can be more critical about my teaching. Although 30 Things to Do to Promote Creativity, it was the same information but simplified to a list form. I found the list to be a little bit more helpful than the latter, just with the way I learn, and found that this list breaking down simple ways to incorporate that creativity to be basic and practical, just like the way I learn. And when it came to researching the last question I had, how do I quantify, or how can creativity be put on a scale, I searched and I found something called the Torrance test for creative thinking. This test was developed in the 60s, and I guess it's the way that they've been testing creativity even up to today. I went through and I actually took the test myself. I found it really interesting, and I found that it was quite easy for me, but there was no way to find the results. So I went back and I looked at an article called Torrance Test of Creative Thinking, the question of its construct validity. In this research, they were doing exactly what I hoped. They were testing the validity of the Torrance test. Although the study concluded that there are inconsistencies with the test and it shouldn't be taken as an exact science, they did prove that the test have some merit, but shouldn't be taken as the end-all. But I found when I was taking this test for it to be quite useful. And if I would take it again, I feel like I'd look at it in a different way. So when looking at this test again, with the help of this article, I hope to implement it in my classroom by having the students take the test not once through the year to quantify the results in creativity, but when the students take it, they hopefully see the results and hopefully build on it. And every time they take it, they go a little bit further because they know the way that they should be thinking, and it helps them creatively. Within technological studies, students are often asked to create and in turn use their creativity. Therefore, the more we understand how to nurture that creativity, the more useful we will be to our students when they're at that creative block or that crossroad and they're looking for inspiration.